Good evening, everyone, and welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I'm your host, your YouTube messiah, and often imitated, never duplicated, backyard superstar Tim Vicious. I'm talking about what Raw, this one, follow-up Raw to huge thing that happened last week. I talked about the highlights, one Dave quitting. They didn't talk about with that this week, obvious reasons, because they're trying to downplay that and upplay the big thing that happened, Seth going heel. So let's get to that. First things first, on how the show started out. Hunter and Steph walked down to the ring. It was actually kind of nice seeing them walk out to King of Kings instead of having the Evolution theme. Big question on my mind now, though, is since Dave's gone, does that mean Evolution's done, or does that mean that, and now we have the Authority, or is Seth just now the replacement for Evolution? They didn't really say, but anyways, Steph started out, she was talking about on how Daniel Bryan's got Daniel Bryan's neck injury, and straight up, Bryan can't compete, so once again, he had the title stripped from him, and once again, your new WWE Champion, vacant. Oh yeah, that's right, vacant's the champ again. So, but, excuse me. Personally, I'm happy that the title got stripped from him, and this is a little bit of the old school mentality in me, I grew up watching the old school classic wrestling, seeing all the classics, and the docs on them, and I had that kind of mindset. But you do what you have to in regards on the business, and if you can't defend your title, you can't hold your title. That's just the case. I mean, Edge had to drop his after Mania. Obviously, different circumstances, but nonetheless, he still had to. Didn't hear everyone pissing and whining saying, "Oh, why didn't he? Oh, da, da," and all that. The point is, the man can't physically compete. He needs time off so that way he can rest and heal. Let the fucking man rest and heal. Quit bitching and quit pushing to try and get him out there. Because, swear, these Smarky McSmarkertons out there, which that's going to be my new saying for the little fuckknuckles that keep pissing me off out there. They keep saying, "Oh, we want him back. We want Bryan in the match. We want him here, there, da, da, da." Dude, guys, here's the thing. Traveling around 300 plus days a year, getting your body thrown around every day, 7 days a week. The human body can only take so much physical abuse before it just says, "Fuck, I'm done." Sometimes you gotta let a dude cool off. But anyways, after Steph announced that the title was stripped from him, they said that the Money in the Bank match was now going to be a Money in the Bank ladder match for the title, which is now a new thing, which I actually kind of like, and my mind started wandering. If they did this right, they could still do 2 Money in the Bank matches each year. They do one if they do it right next year, they do it just like this one, but with the champ, and, all the other competitors, and the other one, have him for the Money in the Bank contract. I think that could work. That's just me, and that's my way of thinking on it. But anyways, on with the show. On with Raw. After Steph was done, she gave the stick to Hunter. Hunter got on there, was saying that, Hunter wound up saying Daniel Bryan couldn't adapt, so his title reign perished, basically summing it up. But then transitioned right into Rollins and showed Seth, or no, they didn't show Seth, fuck, yeah. my brain's kind of fried from work, so deal with it. But, yeah, talks about on how Seth wound up taking him out, doing that, and then he booked, and on how he's gonna destroy the Shield, and that they got a match that night with them versus the Wyatts in a 6-man tag match, provided they can get someone, seeing as on how they've been running hot shot in the locker room and took out everyone for the past 2 years. So hopefully somebody will help them. But after that, next thing you know, match for the Money in the Bank qualifying match, Sheamus versus Barrett. Can't really argue too much. I mean, they do got good chemistry in the ring, like Cena and Del Rio do. But that's about as far as I'll give credit on that goes, because, you know, it's, again, it falls in the line with the Cena and Del Rio thing. How many times can we just keep seeing this? For crying out loud. You know? If you're gonna put Sheamus in the match, in the Money in the Bank match, then easy enough. Have him go up against somebody that can put Sheamus over in a decent match, but you know is obviously gonna lose. And the same thing with Barrett. You know, just do something like that. But their match, it was pretty good. Part that was pissing me off was, you know, and again, on Twitter, seeing it, a lot of people were out there putting the whole Irish versus English thing again. Guys, seriously, enough with that. That shit is fucking old. It's done. Leave it be. Sheamus wound up getting the win from a brogue kick, and it was actually, and I didn't want Barrett to lose, but he did, you know. But, you know, with Sheamus being the U.S. champ, you know, you guarantee he's not going to win. So, thank you on that much, at least. Hopefully they'll book Barrett in a match at the pay-per-view, and that'll steal the show. Next matchup, my Zack Ryder versus my favorite part of Raw now, Lana. I mean, when Rusev comes out, my favorite part's when Lana introduces him. And man, did she lay it on heavy with the whole anti-America, pro-Russia thing. You know, especially with showing videos of Barack Obama doing looking like a freaking one of those freaking California raisins trying to lift weights. You know, I have laughing on how she was ripping on him, and then showed a picture of Putin with no shirt, trying to look all big and burly, like riding a horse. Like, what the fuck? Oh man, you're getting heat, and not cheap heat, but straight up heat, the kind that you're looking to get. And I am friggin' loving this, because, you know, patriotic stories are some of the best ones that you can draw heat from, you know? And I absolutely love it. Next thing you know, I'm just waiting for when they let Iron Sheik come out on Raw and say Rusev is Sheiky class, and then do Russia #1, Iran #1, USA Patula. You know, I would love it. Anyways, Rusev versus Ryder. Do I really need to go into detail? Rusev won, obviously, but thankfully he didn't beat up a black guy, so he's moving on. Next matchup, it was Rybaxel versus Goldust and R-Truth. Which, why the hell would... They say Cody's picking his partners. Why the hell would you pick R-Truth? Really? Seriously, dude, you got an entire locker room full of really good people. I mean, hell, why don't you pick somebody that you don't like, but is still really good, just so that way you could say, oh yeah, I picked this guy for you, Goldie. That way, you know, he can win. But what the, yeah. Rybaxel won, which I'm pretty sure now everyone's going to start considering Rybaxel being the special ed team of WWE, especially considering that, you know, they come out promoting winter hats and summertime when you got 80 plus fucking degree weather. Okay, I gotta stop with the curses now, otherwise I'm gonna get those hordes of angry parents on me again. I'm gonna try and tone it down now a little on that much, folks, so please, by all means, please bear with me on that. I'm gonna try. Okay, I can't even say I'm gonna try. I'm gonna promise. I can't promise I'll try, but I promise I'll try to try. But moving on, it was the Usos in a tag match with Fandango and Damian Sandow, and honestly, I couldn't tell which part I was laughing at more so, because before that match, Layla wound up getting burnt by Summer Rae, and quite possibly now one of the funniest wrestling memes of this year right here. And Summer Rae just dumped an entire half gallon of milk on her and then just went all crazy bitch on her. And yeah, I couldn't help but laugh, because right after I saw that, all I could think, if anyone's ever watched those old Super Friends cartoons, you know, it was, you know, with that, meanwhile at the Legion of Doom voice, all I could think is that dude with that announcing voice saying, meanwhile in Fandango's dressing room, and then that picture, right there, hands down. Because that right there, really, it was just comical. And I'm pretty sure somebody in creative, whoever thought of that in creative was like, you know, people are going to wind up thinking this is a porn reference, right? Yeah, we're going to do it anyway. And then, you know, Vince gave the green light and was like, oh yeah, go ahead, do it. But yeah. And the part with Sandow coming out in a bodysuit doing interpretive dancing. I've been pissed off that Sandow keeps getting all these nasty gimmicks thrown at him, but you know what? He is pulling them off. And I am praying that this is going to lead to something good, because they're spending a lot of time and money making Sandow going from being Davy Crockett to a wannabe gangster to an interpretive dancer to a basketball player to a butcher, a baker, a candlestick maker, all that kind of crazy stuff. Yeah, but yeah, it's like I said, Sandow, he's Kowalski trained, so you know he already knows on how to work a mic. He knows on how to work a ring. You know? Yeah. And I've said it before, two other guys that are prime examples for Kowalski-trained guys that got the same skills. Hunter and Frankie Kazarian. Both of them know how to work it, and they can, and they do. But for some reason, Sandow keeps getting handed this. I'm just really hoping that that this is gonna lead to something big, because if not, I'm really sorry for whoever's Cheerios Damien pissed in. End of the match, though, Usos won because Sandow wound up going to do some more of the interpretive dancing. Next, you know, turned around, whack, got hit with a super kick, and yeah. Next matchup, it was Xavier Woods versus Bo Dallas, which, yeah, I absolutely love the Bo Dallas gimmick, because quite simply because I can't stand it. It's that gimmick, I know it's a gimmick, but I hate it, and that's why I love it, because that is the kind of heel that I want. Because, again, old school mentality. You know, I want to actually hate and not like my bad guys. You know? If somebody's a heel, I don't want to like them. That's the cold hard truth. Because, I mean, a good example with that, Vince, when during the during the late 90s with the Attitude, during the Attitude Era when he was doing that Mr. McMahon bit. Nobody liked him on screen. And he pulled it off phenomenally. Because he was a heel and he knew he needed to get heat. Bo's a heel. Bo needs to get heat, and he is by being snide and cocky and doing the, I know you can do it, you just have to believe bit, and that sells it. You know, but, but the match between them two, about what you would expect for Raw. About what you would expect on Raw. It was more like just a card filler. Bo got the win with the running Bo Dog, but you grew up watching ECW like me, seeing Lil Spike Dudley. That's the acid drop, man. That ain't no friggin' running Bulldog, running Bo Dog, you know. Anyways, next matchup, other qualifying match for the Money in the Bank: Cesaro versus Rob Van Dam. Paul Heyman's out in the middle of the ring. Now, they're in Minnesota, and Heyman's there, and he talks about on how his client put the 1 in 21 and 1. Well, your client may do that, but my client will be the next Raw general manager. Oh, yes. Count on it. And yeah, and he starts highlighting, talking about on how my client did the unimaginable at WrestleMania. And he said, well, we are in Minneapolis, so we should have a party. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you the man that won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal Memorial, Cesaro. And oh man, I loved it. Because I really thought they were going to pull out Lesnar and just kept it top friggin' secret the whole time. It was, next thing just, Paul, you dirty bastard, I hate the fact that I can't hate you. And man, that Cesaro versus, now, Van Dam came out, yeah, yay, one of a kind, yay, yay. Yay, one of a kind. It's Rob Van. I had this horrible dream that Rob Van Dam didn't try and reinvent himself and still believes it's 1998 and airbrush singlets are cool. Oh wait, that wasn't a dream. Damn it! Not gonna lie, the first half of their match, I was just kind of like, eh, you know. I was more so doing this, playing with my phone than I was focused on that match. It wasn't until about halfway through when the match actually started picking up. Cesaro I think it was right around when Cesaro threw that one uppercut and then started, yeah, it was. It was right around when Cesaro threw that one uppercut right out of nowhere. I mean, and yeah, that's when I started really picking up into the match again. I was like, oh wow, that's pretty good. And then, you know, watched it, and Cesaro, wham, hit the neutralizer, got the 1, 2, 3, Cesaro wins. Calling it now, he's definitely my black horse for winning the Money in the Bank match. If not him, and I brought this up and I talked about it earlier that day with a lot of people on Twitter. You know, have Lesnar be a surprise entry. Because, and think about it, before all y'all go and start going into a all fanboy rage, you know, but think about it. Daniel Bryan's out. It's not permanent, it's a short term. So you have Lesnar win the title. He's a good for a short-term champion basis. You know? And it can work just because of the fact he'll be there to defend the title, but he'll be there to defend the titles, and he can hold the titles until SummerSlam when Bryan gets back, and then he can drop the title to Bryan, and that would put SummerSlam over. And aside from that, Lesnar also has the credibility of being a former champion to be able to carry it. so it can work. That's my thinking now on the matter. Like I've said before, you want to shit on the product, by all means, shit on the product all you want. I do that plenty on here. But what I do, I also give an idea of saying, okay, here's the problem. Here's what you can do to try and fix it. So I at least offer that. So if you're going to shit on the product to me, at least have the balls to go and bring up an idea on how to fix the product. That's my philosophy. That's my way of thinking. You don't like it? Too bad. Anyways, like I said, Cesaro, he got the win. Next matchup, it was Paige versus Alicia Fox, and I did not enjoy this match one bit. I've actually, believe it or not, have been disappointed since Paige has come up onto the main roster, because she's working matches like Cena. Goes in, commentary, next thing you know, gets beat up, tossed around, slammed into the mat, thrown here, thrown there, and, you know, all that stuff. Next thing you know, right out of nowhere, she hits 2 or 3 moves, boom, she wins. Which, yeah, Paige won this match. But I am not liking it, and I am not getting impressed. And, you know, I got into an argument with 1 or 2 people over on Twitter over it, and dude, honestly, guys, honestly, if you got the balls to go and boo and despise Cena for doing all that, but still go and say, oh, Paige, yay, and root for her even though she's doing the same thing, you are a fucking hypocrite. That is the cold hard truth. And if you don't like that and can't deal with the fact that you're a hypocrite, well then get some KY and stick this somewhere. Because I guarantee you that'll be just as, because I guarantee that'll hurt just as much as the cold hard truth. Which, by the way, Cranky Grandpa, like I said last night, found this king, remember, from Toronto, 2010. And yeah, it fell. Moving on. Paige won. Alicia, she went into crazy mode again, started and beat up Oksana, who was out there with her, cheering her on, and next thing you know, slamming water and popcorn all around, and I absolutely love this part because it kind of reminded me of when I was dating one of my ex-girlfriends. I'm not saying which one because 1 or 2 of them may or may not watch this show, so in fear of them coming back and trying to stab me with a pen, you know, I'm not going to name names, but yeah, but Alicia wound up slamming Oksana into food and then was just grabbed some, it's like, here, eat it, eat it, and then was smearing it into her face like that and was doing that for a bit, and I howled laughing on that. That was freaking hilarious. Next matchup, Swagger versus Santino, which felt a little different seeing Santino without Emma. Not saying it was bad, not saying it was good. Just saying, kind of different. I haven't seen him without Emma in a while, so that was good. It was not good, but it was kind of different. Anyways, match, it was and then next thing you know, Uncle Zebekiah. I love Zeb Coulter. My Uncle Zebekiah. I wish I had an uncle like him. Next thing you know, just goes over to Swagger. Wham! Slaps him. Swagger looks at him. What are you doing? Why'd you do that? Wham! Now go and get back in there. And then Swagger went full on ape shit on Santino and destroyed him. You know, and like I said, I like Swagger. He's got the build. He's got the look. He just needs charisma. He just needs the charisma. And then he can wind up being one of the top guys. And he can. He just, honestly, he really needs that. That's the problem. You know? And if Zeb slapping him in the face every week is going to give him that charisma, you know what? Zeb, why don't you come and see me? I got a whole bunch of baby powder in my son's room. That way you can use that and powder up your hand and then slap him like a pimp. You know? Anyway, Swagger won the match. Next matchup, it was the main event. Wyatt versus The Shield with Cuck Cena. I mean, die Cena, die. I mean, rise above Cena. I mean, see, I almost had this, I swear, I'm going to get this murmur thing taken care of. John Cena. Cena came out and helped them earlier, which, for some odd reason, I don't know why, probably just because it's the Wyatts, but it confused me just because, rewind the clock back about a year or so ago when The Shield was on the scene, they were talking about the John Cena problem, saying Cena was a cancer within WWE that they were going to get rid of, and now he's teaming with them. Yeah. Kind of makes about as much sense as having Jack Swagger team with Alberto Del Rio at house shows, which they have. Again, yeah, makes a lot of sense. Anyways, the match was good. I already knew on how it was going to play out, but I knew on how it was going to play out in my head because I already pictured it on how it was going to go, and it did damn near 100%. But, yeah, but thank God I taught myself on how to turn that off. Otherwise, you know, it would kill watching wrestling for me, and I probably never would. And then I wouldn't get to do this for all of you out there who get to watch this and get to see me spew the random crap that's off my head. But anyways, the match, it was pretty alright. It was good. I mean, you know, the Wyatts in the Shield, you know, they always got good chemistry. Cena, he got the obvious hot tag, came in, decimated, next thing you know, and Dean pulled double duty because since Seth went dark side now, you know, so Dean, not only was he playing the crazed lunatic in the group, now he also has to play the ninja, doing the suicide dives and the high flips. But the end of the match came to be Roman wound up doing the spear, got the 1, 2, 3. They got the win over the Wyatts. Next thing you know, the Shield just stand there like, and then they just kind of glance over at Cena, who's over in the corner like. And that I like, because if they can do that and play it right, they can still bring up the fact there's still bad blood between us, kind of thing. You know? Anyways, that's all the time for this week's show. So, like I always tell y'all to do, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch all the other episodes. Look for me on Twitter at TimVicious. Make sure y'all look for my backup account. Also, Tim_Vicious. Also, real quick, want to let y'all know, I will be at the Pittsburgh taping in SmackDown. It's going to be the tapings on June 24th. It'll air that Friday. Make sure y'all look for me. I'm going to be ringside. Alright? Also, don't forget to follow all these cool-ass cats right here on Twitter. James Belmont JX2001. That Roxy Girl. Vicky Earls. I am Danny Sunday. Also, make sure y'all check out Roxy and Vicky's YouTube channels. Mucky Morris on Ronson 82. Axel Mulligan. Make sure y'all check out Axel's YouTube channel. Axel's Analysis. He does them on NXT. Sinfully Sabrina. Sunday Segway. See, got my brain all fried up. Mix the names up. Kenny, can't wait to get back on the show again, man, for the Beat the Clock. I'm coming for you, young brain. Legion Lady Aaron, Cranky Grandpa, Oliver Ben, and Just a Stupid Mark. Make sure y'all also check out Ollie Ben's and Masked Mark's TNA Turnaround. You know? Alright, and like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck yous.